What a thrilling time to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. Just as the trade deadline looms, our beloved team has made a bold move that could redefine our playoff hopes. Are you ready to welcome a new powerhouse to our roster? This versatile center is set to solidify our third line, giving our star players the support they need to make a deep postseason run. Trust me, you won't want to miss the details on this game-changing acquisition. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like to stay in the loop with all things Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs made a significant move right before the NHL trade deadline, acquiring Scott Laughton from the Philadelphia Flyers. This trade has implications that could resonate deeply with our beloved team's playoff aspirations and long-term strategy. In exchange, Toronto sent Nikita Grabenkin and a first-round pick in 2027 to Philadelphia. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Giving up a first-round pick is a big deal. Is this the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. Let's break this down. First, Laughton is a versatile and reliable third-line center, which is exactly what the Maple Leafs needed. He's going to bolster our depth in the middle, taking some pressure off Auston Matthews and John Tavares. As we head into the playoffs, we all know that depth is crucial, and having someone like Laughton who can play a solid two-way game is a huge plus. Moreover, his defensive skills will be invaluable as we face tougher competition. One of the most exciting aspects of this trade is the financial flexibility it brings. The Flyers retained 50% of Laughton's salary, which means his cap hit for the remainder of the season, and next is just $1.5 million. This is a smart move by the Maple Leafs, allowing them to potentially make more moves before the trade deadline, or add depth next season without straining the salary cap. It's not just about this season. It's about positioning ourselves for success in the future as well. But let's talk about Laughton's offensive contributions. He's not just a defensive player. He can score too. He's already put up 27 points this season and has had seasons with 40 points in the past. If he can maintain even 35 points this season, that's a steal for Toronto. We need players who can contribute offensively, especially from the bottom six, and Laughton fits that bill. Now onto the negatives. Losing a first-round pick, even one protected in the top 10, is a risk. The Flyers are in a rebuilding phase, and that pick could turn into something valuable for them. While 2027 feels far off, it's still a key asset, especially for a team like Philadelphia that is looking to build for the future. Then there's Nikita Grabenkin. He's a promising energy player who might not have had a direct impact on the Maple Leafs right now, but he could develop into something more in the future. His departure means we lose some organizational depth, and that's always a tough pill to swallow. There's also the pressure that comes with expectations. Laughton is expected to perform on both ends of the ice. If he struggles to fit into the system or doesn't deliver offensively, we might look back at this trade as a missed opportunity, especially considering what we gave up. So, what does all this mean for the future of the Maple Leafs? On one hand, acquiring Laughton strengthens our lineup and gives us a better chance as we push for the playoffs. On the other hand, we've made some significant sacrifices that could impact our long-term strategy. For the Flyers, they've secured a first-round pick and a promising prospect, which is crucial for their rebuilding efforts. While this trade might hurt them in the short term, it positions them better for the future. So, there's a bittersweet element to this deal. It's a win-win for both teams, but it's tough to see a player like Laughton go. As a passionate fan, I want to know what you think. Do you believe this was the right path? What are your expectations from Laughton in the coming games? I want to hear your opinions down below. Let's get the conversation going. Mitch Marner of the Toronto Maple Leafs is willing to explore free agency this summer, and that news has sent ripples through the fan base and the NHL community alike. According to reports from TSN and Chris Johnston of The Athletic, Marner's readiness to enter the open market on July 1st indicates a significant moment for both his career and the future of the Maple Leafs. General Manager Brad Treliving has already made some bold moves, acquiring Scott Laughton and Brandon Carlo to bolster the team's middle and back end, respectively. Those additions are noteworthy, but they also raise questions about whether the Leafs could have made an even more significant splash by pursuing Mikko Rantanen. Rantanen has now been traded to the Dallas Stars, where he signed an 8-year contract, shifting the focus back to Marner and how this impacts his impending decisions. Johnston mentioned on TSN's Overdrive that the timing of these negotiations could be pivotal. If discussions begin on June 1st, the Leafs are the only team in the running. But come July 1st, the entire league gets involved. The crux of the matter lies in Marner's willingness to leverage his position. His playoff performance has been under scrutiny, especially when compared to Rantanen, who not only boasts better numbers, but is also a Stanley Cup champion. Yet, the fact remains that Rantanen's recent contract, with an annual average value of $12 million, sets the bar for what Marner might expect. And while Johnston argues that Rantanen's numbers may not be as relevant in a broader marketplace, they certainly have a psychological impact on negotiations. It's worth noting that just a few months ago, Darren Dreger reported mutual interest between Marner and the Leafs in extending his contract. Marner himself hinted at being open to negotiations during the season, suggesting a preference to stay in Toronto. This latest report from Johnston, however, paints a more complex picture. It doesn't necessarily mean Marner is leaving. Rather, it indicates that he's ready to test the waters if his desires for a new deal aren't met. In a perfect world, Marner might secure a contract slightly below Rantanen's. But we all know that the NHL operates on a model of supply and demand. And right now, Marner is in a prime position. As the best available free agent, the stakes are high. His unique skill set means that teams will be lining up to make offers, which puts even more pressure on the Leafs to act decisively. The fact that no extension has been finalized before the deadline suggests both parties are gearing up for a significant offseason. As fans, we have to wonder, is this the right path for the Leafs? I'm honestly torn. On one hand, retaining a player of Marner's caliber is crucial for our aspirations of lifting the cup. On the other hand, if it means losing him to free agency, what does that mean for our long-term strategy? Every decision made in these next few weeks could alter the trajectory of this franchise. The Leafs need to put in the work to keep Marner, or he could very well pack his bags and head elsewhere. The implications of such a move would be massive, not just for the team, but for us fans who dream of seeing our Maple Leafs compete for the Stanley Cup. So, I ask you, what do you think? Will the Maple Leafs find a way to keep Marner in blue and white, or is his departure inevitable? I want to hear your opinions down below. Join the conversation, and let's discuss what this all means for our beloved team. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on all things Toronto Maple Leafs. Activate that notification bell so you don't miss any of the latest news. The future of this franchise is unfolding right before our eyes, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes us.